Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Sparks by VinoVonk. My name is Jeroen, and I'm guiding you to the world of wine, meeting fascinating people. Like today, we're meeting a very special winemaker from Samos in Greece, Evmorfia Kostaki. Very welcome. Kalispera.
Kalispera, thank you for having me.
And thank you very much for making time. You send me all of your wines. You're making 6 wines. We're going to taste only 3 today because, well, time is limited. But you are on the Greek island of Samos. I've been there a couple of times for holidays.
You have been
I saw
here?
a lot of beaches. Yeah. I was in Martecambos.
Yeah.
And I went to the archaeological museum, and I saw the big statue of Kouros.
Mm-hmm.
I still have some pictures, and I found them during my research for this conversation.
Beautiful.
And I thought, okay, I have to come again because I didn't know they make wine there. But first of all, can you tell me something about yourself?
Yeah, so I actually come from Samos, from Karlovasi on the western part. That's where I grew up. And this is also where we have our vineyards and winery. So I grew up here, I went to school here, and then I moved to Athens to study. I studied first chemistry. I always wanted to go into wine, but I thought, okay, maybe I'm young, maybe I'm not sure. So I thought chemistry is a safe solution and something I really love. So I did that first. And then I thought, okay, the wine bug does not go away that easily. And I went to study a bit more. I studied Viticulture and Oenology. And that's where I met my partner, Lorenz. So we studied in Italy, first in France, then in Italy. We did our thesis in California. I did it with the university, and Lorenz did it with a winery. And at the same time as we started our master, we started with the WSET. We did the diploma. So it was a really complete course, complete overview of wine, because you saw at one time how it's made, and on the other time what a lot of universities are missing, the actual tasting and learning about the regions and the styles and the grapes and all that. So yeah, I mean, we had some offers to stay in the US and continue working over there, but we thought, okay, let's do something of our own. And we decided to come back to Samos. And here we are now.
But so you've been winemaking all over the world. Well, almost, not in Australia or New Zealand, but
no, I did harvests outside of Greece, just in France. I did in Chablis and Champagne. But Lorenz has been all over the world, also New Zealand and Australia and all over the place. Yeah.
So a lot of knowledge all over the world. And now you're on Samos. But the vineyard started in 2000?
No, the vineyard.
Did you start a vineyard?
So the vineyard we have has been in the family for many, many years, more than 100 years. And it always used to be a vineyard. And that's what makes it special, because our vineyard is massal-selection. And basically, when they wanted to replant something, they just took cuttings from the next terrace and planted it in the new one, So the clone we have in the vineyard is just the very original clone. So that makes the wines very special, very unique. But I think it's important to talk a bit about Samos, maybe, because you have been, but most people have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's a very green island. I think you saw maybe not as much in Martecambos, but when you go to the north side, where also most of the vineyards are, you get a lot of rain. We have more rain than London, which is quite impressive, although it's mainly in winter. And everything is green. You have forest interrupted by a vineyard, interrupted by an olive grove, and it's all like growing together, a very special place. And we have these 2 massive mountains. So one is 1,400 meters, more than that, and the other is about 1,100. So all that makes it a very unique place. It's not like the desert-like climate of Santorini. Let's say it's the exact opposite.
Because Santorini is known for its acetico,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of wind there, a special kind of vineyards, low baskets. But how does the climate compares to Santorini or
As
on
I
Samos?
said, we have so much rain. We have about 650, 700 millimeters of rain per year. And because of the forests and the mountains, we have a lot of humidity throughout the summer. So that makes the temperatures a bit lower, combined with the Meltemi wind that flows from the north and cools down the vineyards in the midday. And yeah, we also have the training system of the bush, like the goblet. And that is very traditional here and acts as an umbrella basically against the sun, because Samos is one of the places in Greece with the most sunshine hours. So you kind of need the sun protection. It's a very oxymoron. At the one side, you have a lot of rain. On the other side, you have a lot of sun. But yeah, it's perfect conditions for grape growing.
Yeah, but not a lot of rain during the summer, because I've been there and I never had any rain.
No. Not a single cloud, not rain. The weather from, let's say, most of the rain falls from November until April. And then maybe you have a little bit before, a little bit after, but in the rainy season, it rains. And yeah, the rest of the year, it's just you have a lot of humidity. Like you go in the vineyard and you're wet immediately, like the leaves are wet. So it's very impressive. And we don't till the soil, we just cut the grass. So we have a thick layer of mulch in our soil. And if you just lift it up, underneath it's also wet. Like the soil stays wet throughout the summer. So it's very impressive. And the vineyards don't have a lot of water stress. And you see them like they're not struggling at all. But that's also because of the Muscat grape we have. So the Muscat is...
Because before we start, what kind of grape varieties you have, you're
Mm.
making wine now. But I found out you're also learning more about wine. You were doing the Master of Wine, journey course.
I
Could you tell
am.
me something about that?
It's very challenging, I have to say, and requires a lot of time and real dedication. So I started in 2020 and now we're in 2025. It's been 5 years. And I am in stage 2 and I have passed the theory part. So now I'm just a practical only student, which means I taste some more and study about the wines and the styles and the regions and communicate that in the paper, in the exam. So yeah, it makes me really a better winemaker, because winemaking is about tasting. And our philosophy at Kostaki is also that without tasting properly, you cannot make good wine. So yeah, it's really helping me become better every day.
Maybe soon you will be the next Greek Master of Wine.
Maybe, hopefully.
Maybe.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah. Hopefully soon. Yeah, because
Yeah.
there are 4 stages, right?
3. So if I pass
3.
now, if this year I pass the practical, I will have to do a thesis. And that's it. If I pass the thesis, which is not as easy as it sounds, then yeah, I will be free. Free and a master of wine.
Yeah. Well, I will be following your journey. Now back to the vineyard. What kind of grape varieties do you now have, and what kind of grape varieties did you have? Because the vineyard is in your family for more than 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me something about it?
So the vineyard was always exclusively Muscat. We have Muscat Blanca Petit Grain, and it's the variety that you find all over Samos Island. There are about 1,400 hectares of Muscat planted on the island. There are a few other grapes, but it's the vast majority. And originally it was, it has always been Muscat and will always be Muscat, let's say.
Yeah.
And
so but you make different kinds of wine from the same grape variety.
Yes. So our goal is to become basically the benchmark of Muscat. And not a lot of people around the world really focus on this grape, although a lot of people make it. So you found it in Greece, you find it in almost all the wineries, they almost all make a Muscat. And also abroad, you find it in many wine regions in Italy, in France, and even Spain, Portugal, Australia, the US. It's the first international grape variety. And it's one of the most ancient grapes in the world. That's why it expanded together with the ancient Greeks. They took it with them, and you find it in all the ancient colonies, and from there it spread all over the world. So it's a variety that's really loved, but it's not really currently appreciated because it's easy to make an okay wine, a very perfumed wine, but to focus on it and see what it can do, not a lot of people have tried to do that because, it's hard. It's a very hard variety to grow and hard to make it good.
No, it's not so. It's wine friendly, but it's not labor friendly.
Absolutely not. So we're also
No.
organic, and Muscat has very thin skins and very tight bunches. Yeah. And
I saw the label on the bottle, and I saw it, and I thought, oh, you're organic certified. That's a lot of work,
yes.
and it's very special.
It is organic certified, and this vineyard has been organic since 2000. So it's the first organic vineyard on Samos and has been continuously organic for since then, like 25 years, which is a lot of time and enough to make an impact. But it's very hard to grow perfect grapes with organic, especially in Samos with so much humidity, and with the Muscat that has the tight bunches. So, for example, we have the bush vine, which has all the leaves on top that creates a shade. But at the same time, we do leaf removal in the bottom to improve the aeration and to improve the contact of the pesticide, basically like sulfur and copper that we use, fungicide. It's a lot more work, but we're very happy with it. And I mean, we work in the vineyard ourselves. Like, we are the ones who are in the vineyard all day. And it's important for me that I'm not afraid to sit in the grass of my vineyard. So it's not just marketing, it's about myself. Like, yeah, it is how it is.
But it's hard work. But is it also hard working for making a good wine of it?
Yeah, Muscat is very easy to oxidize. So you have to be very careful during winemaking to not allow oxygen inside, because then it becomes bitter. So for me, that's the biggest challenge, to not have something bitter. And so we work very reductively, and we love this style actually. And at the same time, we use screwcap, because if you work reductively and then you put a cork in it, you just undo everything you've done. So we just all our decisions are the best for our product and ourselves. Maybe not necessarily for marketing, but for example, we also use lightweight glass, and all the glass is colored like this, like kind of brown color, because it protects from UV. And I mean, we're in Greece, we have a lot of UV. And but also they are lightweight bottles, because we carry them around and we go to tastings and we do all these things, and we have to bottle ourselves and we have to carry the boxes. And why choose a bottle that's 1 kilo when you can choose something that's way lighter? Like, there are so many practical things that we did, to making our life easier wherever we can.
When the bottles arrived at my place, I got them out of the box, and I thought, oh, they're empty. And I looked, oh no, they're not empty, because they were so light. Yeah. And I liked the labels also, very elegant.
Thank you very much.
But also, maybe it's my imagination, but I also see the landscape of Samos in it.
Exactly. So it is an abstract view from my tasting room. And our tasting room has a very amazing view all over Western Samos. And that's basically what you see. And then as the sun goes down, you see all these different colors and the layers between all the mountain ranges. And yeah, the labels perfectly represent that and represent our style. And we're very happy with them.
Yeah. And before we're going to taste the wines, could you tell me something about the different kinds of wine? Because you sent me 6 wines.
A lot of wines. So Muscat
Yeah.
is basically the grape that can make all styles possible. You can have sparklings, you can have still wines, you can have dessert made with botrytis, like in Tokai. You can have dessert from sun-dried, like on Samos or Mistel, or I don't know, whatever kind of wine we imagine. Orange wines are now very trendy. Whatever kind of wine you can imagine, you can make with Muscat. And that's something amazing that this variety can do. And I honestly believe no other grape can do it so successfully. And we cannot claim to be the Muscat masters if we don't make a lot of different styles. And we want to showcase this variability of Muscat and its ability to make so many things. And yeah, our goal is to change people's minds about the variety. And hopefully we see many more wineries coming up, not only in Samos, but elsewhere that follow this logic, that they take Muscat to the next level, because it's a pity that it's so undermined.
Yeah, because when I say to people, "Oh, well, I'm going to taste some wines from Samos," they say, "Oh, sweet wine," because they only know sweet Samos making only sweet wines.
Yeah.
And then I say, "No, they also make dry wines." Shall we go taste some wines?
We should definitely taste some wines. We can start with the prototype. So
Yeah, the prototype.
yes, as I said before, we are committed to bringing Muscat to the next level, Muscat Blanc Petit Grain. So Prototype is a series we started last year, and we are testing the limits of the grape. It's our winemaking playground, let's say. So here we have a sparkling wine, and what we do with this wine is it's basically a traditional method, but because we don't use any commercial yeast in the winery, we aged the base wine of 2023 for 1 year. We aged it in barrel. And then we blended it with fermenting must in order to initiate a second fermenting bottle. So that's how it became sparkling. It doesn't have any extra sugar or yeast, commercial yeast. It just has base wine plus fermenting must put together like this.
Then it's more like a pet nut, or not?
No, because pet nut is bottled during the first fermentation. So here
And this is the second fermentation.
This is the second fermentation.
And
With
that's
just
why it's called
10%.
prototype.
Yeah, it's a prototype because we didn't know if it was going to work. Like, we have our own yeast, basically. Like, the winery is new, all the equipment was new when we started in 2023. So we didn't know if it was going to work because we never used any yeast here. Like, it's just our own. And we know our yeast struggles with, let's say, achieving 12.5 alcohol. That's why also all our wines are quite low alcohol, because our yeast cannot ferment very high, for now at least. And so yeah, it was an experiment. It worked really well. Like, I find very flinty notes and kind of oxidative maturation here because it was aged in barrel. Yeah, I'm leaving it up to you if you want.
Yeah, it's very fresh. I thought the first thing I thought, okay, it's a little bit reductive, because you have these kinds of aromas that you think, okay, what is this? And then you have some like forest vibes, wet leaves, like pines. But then I got some lime and some lemon. And it's very fresh, and you need the flintiness, a little bit like bitter of the grapefruit peel.
Yeah, was. So yeah, as you see, in all our wines, we try to not have so much the very intense muscat flavors. And that's contributed by the massal-selection that we have, but also because we don't use any commercial enzymes, for example, or commercial yeast that can really enhance this flavor. But what I also say is that Muscat Blanca Petit Grain comes from this area, comes from Samos or comes from somewhere around here. And for example, just like Sauvignon Blanc, it comes from the Loire. And over there, it makes these wines very mineral, very elegant, very restrained. And anywhere else in the world, you have these very opulent styles. And it's the same with Muscat. Like in its origin, where it comes from here, it makes something very minimal and very mineral and very elegant. And somewhere else, it makes something that can be almost soapy, let's say. So yeah, and that's what we try to showcase.
But it's very fresh, but the aftertaste is so long, and I feel like I'm walking in a forest, but it's beside of the beach. Very strange things happening
It's
in my
just
mind
like
now.
Samos because the forests reach the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
and it's a little bit like a little bit yeasty, but a lot of full flavors, but it's very light at the same time. It's very nice and balanced.
thank you so much.
Yeah, so this is what made of by the masters of Muscat. And
Yeah. Cheers to that.
what are the reactions on the island of this wine?
Sorry, what?
What were the reactions of this wine on the island?
Actually, this wine we didn't sell on the island. It was a very limited production, and yeah, our distributor in Greece got it all basically. So very limited.
Yeah, because
Just
I
500
love it.
bottles.
But, yeah, are you going to make this every year now? Because it's not a prototype; it's a success.
So eventually, like this year, we created some more sparkling base wine. It's fermenting next to me here, and giving me like the tank gives me this very nice lighting. And yeah, so we will make some more of this, but I think under a normal like label, we will add this on our range because we don't have enough labels yet.
Yeah. Very nice. Shall we go to the next wine?
Yeah. And for example,
And that's the
prototype.
dry.
Yeah. For prototype, we are now making 2 more trials. Let's say we're making over there in that small tank. We have something we are trying to create flour. So we haven't opened it in a couple of months, and we will open it in a year or two. Maybe we'll be vinegar, maybe we'll have flour, who knows? Yeah. And we also made a governo, which is a forgotten tradition from Tuscany, and where they add dried grapes to a wine from last year. So you have it's very trippy because you have this wine that has dried flavors, but it tastes very dry. And we see. So stay tuned for the next prototypes whenever they get
sounds very
released.
interesting. Yeah. Fascinating times. Then we're going to the
Dry.
very nice name, Dry.
Yeah. You want to keep things simple, and I want to help the people who help me. Like if you're in sommelier in a restaurant, I don't want you to remember a random name, another random name that someone made up. Like I want you to know, like this is a dry wine, and yeah, every wine represents the names represent the styles.
Yeah, but it's also very simple to pronounce. It's Kostaki Dry, please.
Yeah, cannot get more basic than that.
Yeah, the color is light lemon yellow. It's a little bit cloudy.
You think?
You don't find it?
I think it's just too cold for you.
The cold.
Shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's cloudy.
Because you clear it with bentonite, I think.
Whenever, when we need, so we do the test. And this year we didn't add any bentonite because all the wines were stable. Yeah.
Stable, and the gravity worked for it.
Yeah. And so for the dry, what we do in general for our dry wines we create many different winemaking techniques. Because when we started, we had a very clear idea of what the wine styles we wanted were like, but we didn't know how to get there. So what we did, like first harvest 2023, we did, and we still do that actually. So it's something that worked out and we keep doing it. So we do many different winemaking techniques. We harvest in many different dates. So for example, we do direct press, we do skin contact, we do orange wine, we do barrel ferment. We have something that's harvested quite early, so we use for acidity. We have something harvested later, so we use for the body. And then we have all these many blending partners. And we play around to create two different styles. So basically, with the dry, we have mainly a wine that's direct press, but it also has about 20% orange wine and about 10% of barrel fermented wine. So the orange gives like some structure, so you feel some kind of little prickling in your mouth, which is perfect for food. And then the barrel fermented adds some roundness to the palate to fill it in. And I hope you see all that in the glass.
And because it's very complex in the nose.
Mm.
And I thought, okay, what is happening? And again, the same vibes of the forest, but it's more floral, this one. More, more flowers, but also a lot of rosemary and thyme. And very fruity.
For me, it reminds me of orange blossom, this kind of flowers.
Oh, it's very elegant, complex, but very, very round and straightforward at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You smell something, you taste it, that's it, and it stays there. And it develops in your mouth, and indeed a little bit of the tannins of the orange wine. I feel it in my gums a little bit. Oh, it's very nice. The label is simple, but the wine isn't simple. You don't make it simple.
No, we make it the most complex way we can.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of a conversation I had with a champagne maker. Yeah, and we do this and that and that, and yeah, and then we're going to mix, and then we have a simple wine.
Yeah, but as I told you, like for us, the tasting is the most important part, and the most important day of the year is when we actually sit down and do the blends, because we have another label of dry wine called aloe, meaning the other, and so the aloe is more approachable, more round, more soft, and then the dry is a bit more serious, more gastronomic. And the day we do these blends is probably the most important day of the year for us in the winery.
Yeah, and is it sometimes the most magical things happen by accident? Did you sometimes do a blend that you thought, okay, I didn't want this, but now I want this?
I'm not sure. Like, I think recently we just put orange wine in everything because we like how it adds like texture and stuff. So I think the first time we tried it, we were like, oh, this won't work, but it did work. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, orange wine.
That was a magical moment then.
Yeah.
Let's try it. And now we do it everywhere.
Yeah. Not necessarily, but yeah, no dogma here.
Yeah. Oh, it's very interesting. Could you share something, some technical details about how you do the fermentation? And because sometimes people ask, okay, what is the temperature they use for the fermentation, and how do you do it?
So in order to start the fermentation, it all begins 2 to 3 weeks before. So we go in the vineyard and we harvest a few grapes and we crush them to create the pied de cuve. And then with every sampling we do, we just add some volume into that. And by the time we have our first harvested grapes, like the first proper grapes, we also have a fermenting starter we can put in the wine so that we don't have to wait for the natural ferments to start like 1 week after. Because that's how you get a lot of flavors. And yeah, we want something very precise and very clear. So it all starts a long time before the actual harvest. And then we do the ferments at around 18 degrees. But for example, now that they are finishing off, they're just at about 10 grams of residual sugar left. We have them quite free. They are at 20, like they don't go higher because also at nights the temperature is quite lowish. So now they're at 20, 21, somewhere there, but without temperature control in order to finish. Yeah, sometimes we have some residual sugar, but we like that. It's we like to play with some arrest to add some structure, add some roundness. And most people want to have dry wines, but actually want dry wines with a bit of arrest. So yeah, it works out pretty good, even if they don't ferment completely. And yeah, that's it.
But how do you balance that with the pH level of the wine?
Because we harvest at different stages. So we harvest, for example, we start harvest at 10% alcohol, potential alcohol. So that has quite some acidity. And then we finish at 12.5, let's say. So everything is low alcohol, but yeah, we don't keep things overripe.
Perfect, thanks. Shall we go to the last wine?
Definitely. So
And
it's a good
that's
pass
a very
because
interesting name because the name is Early Harvest.
yeah. So what could that mean? This early harvest.
I think it's you picked the grapes earlier.
Yeah, but we do that because we can achieve high acidity and very fresh flavors. So in the end, we stop the fermentation before it finishes, and we have an off-dry style. So it's not a dry wine, and it's a kind of word of play with late harvest because late harvest is kind of sweet. This is also kind of sweet. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is the early harvest. It's a little bit lighter of color than the dry one because yeah.
It's also from the it's also from the 2024 vintage. But I mean, with the screwcap, you don't see a lot of color change with the wines. But yeah, it's contributing a bit.
Yeah.
And also doesn't have orange wine, just has, I don't know, maybe 5% of orange wine in there.
And only 9% alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit less aromatic, but also very interesting. Did you think, okay, what is happening now? Because you think, okay, it will be the same, but it's not completely different, but there's a huge difference in it. It's a little bit sweeter, but also higher in acidity. And in that way, you get a lot of tension in your mouth. Your brain is like, okay, it's sweet. No, it's not. It's sour. No, it's not. Well, and it has another level of complexity. It's very pleasant also.
Thank you very much. I would say it's like a cocktail, wine cocktail by itself. You know, you have all these different elements. You have a bit of sweetness, fresh fruit flavors, have the acidity, and yeah, it's perfect. And to drink it in the Greek summer, there's nothing better.
Yeah, because you have a lot of lime zest, and you think, yeah, if you think in cocktails, just put an umbrella on it.
Maybe we will do that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe in the label some, yeah, a little bit of umbrella shape. Yeah. But this is a new sound of Samos, a new renaissance of Samos, you could say it. But how do you see the future of winemaking in Samos? And are other winemakers coming to you? Oh, I want to learn about how you make these kinds of wines.
People don't come here, although if they would come, we would help them out and tell them what we do. And I mean, we have the unique thing about us is that we have ourselves. Like both me and Lorenz were very careful in the vineyard, very careful in the winery. We do the tastings, the blendings ourselves, and that's not something you can copy. But the issue with Samos is that it used to be a monopoly for the cooperative for the past 100 years almost. And it all stopped in 2015. So for about 100 years, from 1934 to 2015, people didn't make their own wine commercially, just at home. But that means we lost all winemaking tradition we could have. Because Samos has always been a wine producing island, we just had a big pause of wine producing. We're just grape producing. People were just dumping the grapes at the cooperative, bye, giving my money and leaving, And I think that's what's keeping Samos behind, that we don't have this tradition. Like everything we do at Kostaki is absolutely not traditional, but it would be good to have a starting point. So we feel like we started from scratch. And that's why we experiment a lot. And we use a lot of critical thinking. We see what other wineries, not only on Samos, like around the world, what they're doing. Can we take something from that? Can we avoid something? And because with wine, you just have one chance a year. And if you are secretive, and if you don't ask, and if you don't share information, then you don't succeed, then you don't progress.
Yeah, because you're working in very hard conditions, very wet during the whole year, but besides of the summer, very hot in the summer. But you're organic certified, so you know how to do it. And a lot of people say, okay, I can't do organic certification because I have too much humidity. So go to Samos and learn from you, I would say.
Yeah, we're just in the vineyard all day. Like from the moment the vines burst until the day of harvest, we are in the vineyard all day. And that's our primary job. Our job is not in the winery. Like these tanks now, they have some wine inside. It's not going to do anything. Like my job afterwards is, okay, to do the right blend and to do a proper bottling so as not to lose the quality I achieved. But the real work happens in the vineyard and is ruined in the winery. Like if you don't ruin it in the winery, you're good.
But how do you see the future of Samos in winemaking then?
I hope more wineries will start, but not like projects of other winemakers coming here, doing a label, stuff like that. Like I want to see more through vignerons taking something from grape level to the winery, to the market, like just like we do, because that's where progress is. That's where you have, evolution and quality. And I hope more young people will start some wineries. And there is amazing opportunity. Almost everybody has a vineyard here because there is such a long tradition. So if someone really loves it, they have the chance to do it. And I think it would be amazing if we were more same-minded people around.
You're a very passionate winemaker. You're learning new things. You're going on study trips. But I found also out that you are one of the women in Greek wine. And your role is a fearless wine warrior, I found out.
Not really.
No?
I'm not a fearless. I support women. I am a woman. And I've heard some crazy things when I first started here, like, what is this thing doing in the vineyard? Or I have a thing like that, meaning a woman, but it doesn't come in the vineyards. Like stuff like that. But now it's okay. People have accepted that that's my work. That's what I do. Women can also do that. So it has been progress. Yeah, but for example, one of the reasons I try to achieve so many things is because I feel the need to prove myself. Because who would even look at a 25-year-old who started a winery in Samos and says she makes good wines? Like, whatever. Like you need to really try. And I mean, through the whole process, I'm improving myself and I'm becoming better. So my wines are also becoming better. But it's not an easy task to convince people you're actually worthy of what you're doing, especially as a woman. But that's for any winemaker coming on Samos and saying they're doing good wine. People would look at them like, well, what are they saying?
Yeah. Yeah, because in the Netherlands you also have a large network of women working in wine. and because they have to, they support each other. But nowadays, still, you see a lot of men-only networks doing things in wine, and I thought, okay, why is that? A lot of people complain to me also. I have a lot of guests, and they say, "Oh, you only have men as a guest." Well, I'm not picking only men. I want to be so diverse possible. But there aren't a lot of women in wine. But if you look for it, you can find it. And if you don't look for it, you don't find it.
And the good thing is that in Greece now, in a lot of wineries, there is the second generation coming, and it happens to be mostly women. So in Greece, you will see in a few years a lot of women take over big wineries, which is an amazing evolution, I would say.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Do you want to share something else about what you do?
I'm not sure. Like we talked about so many things. Let's leave your audience at peace and just follow us on Instagram to see what we're up to, because we really love making funny reels.
Yeah, and because when people want to buy these wines, you aren't available yet in the Netherlands. I spoke to some importers, and they told me, well, yeah, but they're a bit new. Let's see for it. Well, I think go for it, because it's very, very nice.
Thank you so much. But
Where
your
can
audience
people
can
buy your
also
wine?
from our website. We ship throughout Europe, most of Europe, for free. So you can just order from our website, and you will get some bottles.
Oh, I'll put some links in the show notes, also from your Instagram account and other
Amazing.
social media. Well, thank you very much for your time. I will enjoy these wines and also the other 3 wines. I will make tasting videos, and they will come on my social media. Thank you very much for your time. Hope to see more of your wines in the future, because the vintage 2025 almost ends. Can we have a sneak peek? What do you think? Is it a good vintage?
It has been a very good vintage. So we finished about 2-3 weeks ago, I think. And the quality was amazing. We didn't have as much humidity this year, which was good. So it was a bit easier in the vineyard on that front. But the yield was a bit lower compared to other years. Like we had so much wind this year and a bit of hail as well. And I mean, one of the reasons Muscat is grown here is because it's so suited for the bush, because it grows upwards. And then with the wind, the shoots don't break. Like we had some rogue vines from other grapes in the vineyard. And with a small wind, they all broke immediately off, all the shoots. And Muscat was standing even with 9 before wind, like we just had a few broken shoots. So, but it still impacted, like a little bit.
Yeah, looking forward to meeting these kinds of wines from 2025. Evmorfia, thank you very much for your time. This was a new episode of Sparks by VinoVonk. Don't forget to subscribe in your favorite app, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, whatever. And see you next time.
See you. Bye.
Bye.